Good morning, class. My name is Sean Ellis, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the first New Deal. A little bit about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, also known as FDR. He went to Harvard College and Columbia Law School. He was indeed the 32nd President of the United States of America. He was also the only president to serve 2 terms. He was very optimistic as a person, and he boosted the country's spirit out of the Great Depression, probably one of the most difficult, darkest times of the United States. He also did lead the United States to victory during World War II. So he was a very influential and important man. He had to deal with some very difficult situations. First off, to establish credibility, I would like to say that I learned about Franklin Delano Roosevelt through watching the History Channel on television. FDR was talking about the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and he stated it was a date which will live in infamy. My specific purpose of my speech isn't to inform you about the first New Deal and how it came about. My 2 main points that I will talk about is the Great Depression that was from 1929 to 1933. The second main point that I would like to talk about is the first New Deal and how it was implemented. The Great Depression happened because of the crash of Wall Street. It crashed because of high consumer debt, over-optimistic bank loans, and high unemployment. The wealth during America at the time was not distributed evenly. The stock market, it crashed just after the Roaring 20s. The 20s was when the telephone was invented, the automobile, the aviation. It was actually, during the Great Depression, there was a total of approximately 13 million people unemployed. That was about a quarter of the total workforce was out of work. So many people who were working full-time were cut down to only working part-time, so that alone was a hardship on many families. During the first New Deal, he campaigned, FDR. He was very optimistic. He played a song, "Happy Days Are Here," a popular song to try to boost the mood of the American people. He campaigned against Hoover, and FDR won by a landslide. During his first 100 days as president, he enacted new laws into Congress to create more government jobs and to create many changes in the banks. So he wanted to create laws so a depression would never happen again, so it's kind of have a safety net, safety buffer. He created the National Recovery Administration. It increased government spending. It created more jobs in America, and he also created the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, which gave loans to states to operate relief programs to help the country. So he pretty much tried to kickstart the economy, getting money, creating programs to help the people create jobs. Also created was the Civil Works Administration. It created a jobs program for manual labor jobs. It built roads, schools, airports, playgrounds, and it put thousands of people to work. The 3 main points of the New Deal with FDR was relief, recovery, and reform, also known as the 3 R's. Relief for the unemployed and the poor, recovery of the economy back to normal, and reform of the financial system to prevent another depression, of course. Regular budget and an emergency budget. That's something that FDR insisted on. You have to have a regular budget, and you have to have a backup, an emergency budget in case something should happen. And the U.S. didn't have that before FDR became president. In my conclusion, I'd like to review the main points. FDR, he revived the economy through the New Deal. Foreclosure, it was one of the worst economic times ever, and FDR needed to do it to revive the economy for future generations. The inspirats like to end with inspirational speech, an inspirational quote. FDR said, probably his most famous, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you watching, and have a good day.